Today we're talking about our study guide. We're talking about decimals. We're talking about how to read them, write them, and compare them. So David, he ran a race. David ran a race. This is how many meters. I have to write this in word form. Your spelling should be correct, and you should have all the words that I have. 30. We should have a hyphen after words that end in ty. 4. Every time we see a decimal, we need the word and. 34 and, now I need to write this part in word form, 26. 34 and 26. For decimals, I need a place value word and what they end in. This one ends in the tenths, hundredths, thousandths. Thousandths. 34 and 26 thousandths. Okay, now Nicole, here's her number. Okay, 48 and 83 hundredths. So I'm going to do the first part, 48. I'm going to rewrite her number right here. 48, decimal means and 83. 83. This time it was tenths, hundredths. Decimal words have th at the end, right? Hundredths that tell that they're apart. Okay, so I'm writing in expanded form. So I break this number apart and I add the different place value parts together. This 3 represents 30. It is in the 10 spot and it's 30. That's plus 4, right? It was 30 plus 4. This 0 is in the tenths spot, but it's not doesn't have any value because it's 0, so I'm going to leave it off. And then 2 hundredths. 2 hundredths plus 6 in the 2 is in the hundredths place, 2 digits after the decimal. The 6 is in the thousandths. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I have to match what this one has, this one has. Okay, down here for Nicole. I have to put what the 4 is in the tens place. It represents 40. 8 represents 1. 8 tenths, right next to the decimal. Right hundredths. 1, 2 next to the decimal. 1, 2 next to the decimal. If I take this in a calculator and I add this all together, it should give me this. That's how I know if I'm right. All right, I'm going to compare these two numbers. And it says explain how you know, so I'm going to write these numbers right here in the decimal spot. Okay? I disagree that a decimal should have its own place value spot. I don't think that it should. Okay? So I'm going to write, here's the decimal. So I'm going to write 265 next to the decimal. 2, 6, and 5. 5 is in the hundreds. 5 is in the hundreds. 6 is in the tens. 2 is in the ones. 3 is in the tenths. 6 is in the hundreds. Now I'm going to do this one. Here's the decimal. The 2 is right next to the decimal. 1 is in the tenths. 2 is in the hundreds. 9 is in the thousands. Which one's taller? Okay, they're tied. In the ones place, they're tied. In the tenths place, the 3 is bigger. The 3 is worth more. So the one that has the 3 in the tenths place is worth more. So I'm going to explain that 562 and 36 hundredths is larger because this is where I get to show that I know place value words. Because the 5 in the hundreds, 5 in the hundreds is equal. The 6 in the tens is equal. The 2 in the ones The 2 and the 1s is equal. But the 3 in the tenths is larger than the 1 in the tenths. Right? 3 dimes is more than 1 dime. These don't even matter because already this wins. This is higher. The tenths are worth more than the hundredths. They're bigger. They're worth more. All right, which of these has the lowest value? Lowest value. Be sure to write the standard form. Okay? Be sure to write the standard form next to each answer. Okay? So I'm going to make some lines so that I can kind of compare these. So kind of like a sample place value chart. Okay? 345 tenths. I don't know where I read that. 345 thousandths. The 5 is in the thousands. 5 is in the thousands. Tenths, hundredths, thousandths. I have to make it look like 345. So I'm going to write 345. 8 is in the tenths. The tenth spot is right here. I'm going to fill everything else with zeros. The 4 is in the hundredths. Tenths, hundredths. 4 is in the hundredths. 50 thousandths. I have to make 50 end in the thousandth spot. I have to make 50 end in the thousandth spot. 50 in the thousandths. 50 in the thousands. Okay? Explain how you know. So, I'm going to look at the tenths. I'm looking for lowest. The zeros are all the same. I have a 3, 8, 0, or 0. Well, these two are the lowest, so it can't be this answer, and it can't be this answer. So, a tie. Now, let's come over here. The 4 is lower than the 5. Because the zeros in the tenths, the 0 in the tenths, make them small. The 4 in the hundredths, the 4 in the hundredths is smaller than the 5 in the hundredths. 5 in the hundredths. Okay, so 4 students here. Okay, so I'm supposed to put them from least to greatest. Least to greatest. All right, so I'm going to look at the 4s. That's all the same. 9s, that's all the same. Now I have 4, 0, 0, and 8. Okay, between the 0 and the 0, the 2 is smaller. So Hayden goes first. And he is 49 and 23. She, 49 and 23 thousandths. I've already done Hayden. Okay, remember the 4s are the same, the 9s are the same, then I have to go here. I've already done this one, so Lily is next. 49 and 8 hundredths. Done Lily. Now, 4's the same, 9's the same. 4 tenths is smaller than 8 tenths, so Sam is next. Okay. Eli is 49 and 8 tenths. So he's the tallest. So I'm going to pick 2 students and I'm going to compare them. I'm just going to happen to pick Lily, which is 49 and 8 hundredths. And Sam, which is 49 and 458. So Sam is bigger than Lily. Sam is bigger than Lily because Sam has a 4 in the tenths and Lily has a 0 in the tenths. Okay, I'm getting back to my typo right here, to the other students. Your test is going to be about plants. That's where that came from. Forgot to change it. All right, here's my numbers. This student happens to be 49 and 88 hundredths. Okay, how would the height of these students compare to the other students? So I know the new student, let's pick one. The new student, if I were to compare him to Eli, tie, the 8 is the tie, this has 8, this one must have 0. The new student is larger than Eli. The new student is larger than Eli because Eli has a 0 in the hundredths. Right, it wasn't there, but I could write it in. That's what the value. And the new student has an 8 in the hundredths. Okay, let me pick one more to compare it to. Okay. So, really, the new student is taller. I should have said larger. I should have said taller all along because this is about their height. So I'm going to go back and change that. The new student is taller than all students. All other students because the 8 in the tenths is more than the 0, 0, or 4. This 8 is more than the 0, the 0, or the 4 in the tenths. Okay, so he's larger than Eli because of the 8 in the hundredths, but he's larger than all the other ones because he has an 8 in the tenths and they don't. Use place value charts tomorrow. If you do not understand the place value parts, please ask. If you do not understand that tenths are larger than hundredths, please ask. If you're confused about any part of this, take the time to come and ask.